So within the music world, there are basically two categories that songs will fall into. They are either an original or they are a cover. Now, an original piece of work is crafted by an artist through whatever channels of inspiration come to them, and they are writing about their experiences in life. They're writing about their heartache, the relationships they've gone through, a joyous moment where their child is born. Wherever that material comes from, they are writing it out either in lyric or in music for the world to enjoy, to experience. So the other one is a cover. And a cover is an interpretation of an original piece of work. And an original piece of work has intellectual property. Someone owns the right to that song. So if someone wants to cover a song, even from a legal perspective, they have to pay rights to the person who wrote the actual song. So you see examples of this in the bar scene. You go into a bar to have a drink and there's a band playing and they're playing all these covers, top 40 band. So that's kind of one context, or it could be Christmas carols that are released. Year after year, there are different albums that come out. Maybe for me, like Pentatonics or Michael Bublé, really appreciate their take on some of these classic Christmas songs that have been around for a long time. So covers are everywhere, and sometimes they end up on more mainstream, or sometimes they're kind of more hidden underground. 20 years ago, I was part of a band called Capstone, and our work primarily circulated within the Christian music scene. So that included evangelical conferences, worship services, different church events, and it was our purpose to connect with an audience. And oftentimes when we showed up somewhere, the people hadn't heard of us yet. So we were always trying to find this balance of what can we deliver of cover material of songs they already know, that they already sing in their church or something, along with songs of our own, because we knew that they loved and appreciated other people's work. It gave them this emotional anchor, but we also believed that our work was good. So we wanted to find a way to bridge and bring together the covers of other people that they knew, plus our own original work. Now, also within the music industry, there's like a subsection called a tribute artist or a tribute band. And this refers to a group that exclusively plays covers of other people. This could be grabbing from the songbook of like Shania Twain, the Beatles, ABBA, different groups that have been around a long time. People know these songs. And truth be told, for the right event, it could be perfect. It could be the exact thing that would be needed. It could be in a casino. It could be at a wedding. It could be something where people want to hear a specific type of genre of music from a specific artist. So 20 years after Capstone, or not even 20 years, but after Capstone, I played in a group called Jimmy Jive 5. And we, in essence, we were a tribute band that were paying tribute to music from the 1950s. For me, I hadn't really grown up listening to those songs. Like, I've heard of them, Elvis Presley and different people, but to actually play them and to sit with them for a period of time, it was a great experience. I really understand why those songs have endured and have been appreciated and loved for as long as that they have. So for us as Jimmy Jive 5, at the end of a wedding day for the celebration of a bride and groom, we were a good fit that provided a lot of joy and enthusiasm and celebration of a day that was worth celebrating. Now, as an artist, if you are an artist, a musician, or if you're thinking of musicians, you would think that performing someone else's work might be inferior to delivering your own. But in fact, it's an opportunity to let another person's ideas filter through you, and it can be a profound experience unto itself. Because the purpose is that you don't cover an original because you lack originality, but rather you play with someone else's creation as a way of creating yourself. Because whether it's your song or not, the joy comes from acting out as a creator, letting the expression of self be true and authentic. Jamie Cullum, who is a jazz pop artist that I greatly love and admire, has exceptionally embodied this interplay of covers and originals. Over the years, he's released albums that are primarily original content, so he's very capable of penning songs together and crafting and arranging songs. But consistently over his career, he has covered other people. He's taken the work of others and filtered it through himself. Now, aside from the marketing advantage this might provide for him to enlarge to a greater audience, which is smart and strategic, it seems that his pure love of songs is the thing that propels him to perform, regardless of who wrote it, regardless whose name is on the piece of paper or on the MP3 file. Whoever that is, it doesn't matter to him. The fact is, if it's a good song, if it's worth performing, then that's the reason why he does it. Recently, at the end of 2018, Jamie released an album called The Song Society, in which his three-piece band, so drum, bass, and piano, they put together a collection of songs, and this was the 4-step process they went through to put this together. Number 1, find a song that you love or are fascinated by. Number 2, learn and record within the hour. So they kind of figure out the arrangement within a short period of time and perform it. Number 3, no previous preparation allowed. And number 3, previous preparation. Number 4, love and live with the mistakes. It was a very bold and courageous thing that they did, because this is actually true. And if you go to YouTube, you'll find Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber, Bruno Mars, these different songs that they've covered. And they actually did this, and they recorded it to make sure that it was legit. And these guys are fantastic musicians, so the quality is really top shelf. But I loved this because what it did for me as a listener was it gave me the belief that you can take originals and you can make it your own. You don't have to be a tribute artist. You don't have to just buy into copying someone else's work in order to get value from the work of another person. And when I was listening to Jamie, I was just enthralled by this experience. I was driving the car. We were here in Hawaii, and I think my wife captured it on video. Maybe I'll post some of that. But what I loved is that, as if by magic, the music kind of came into Jamie and his group, and what came out the other end was just something new, something different, dare I say, original. With the example of most tribute bands or tribute artists, the purpose, the end goal is to sound exactly like a particular artist or band whose material you're covering. But in this case of the Song Society with Jamie Cullum and his group, the purpose was to absorb the work of another artist, filter it through yourself as a creator, so play with it yourself, and then end up with another piece of art. That's a really cool process of taking the work of another person, being inspired by it, playing with it yourself, and then coming out the other end that essentially is kind of new. It's different, even though it's exactly like the other song, maybe it has the same melody, same chord structure, but there's something different now about that. So while you may or may not be a jazz fan, or a musician for that matter, I would like to propose the idea that being original is overrated. We've been encouraged to be ourselves, be who we are, but unconsciously, that can quickly turn into us being a copycat of someone else's creation. And while we might believe that we're writing our own material, the reality is that we're actually just performing as a tribute artist. We're just not even conscious of it. And we haven't yet discovered our own voice. The subtle nuance here is that the discovery of your voice does require you to listen to the voice of others. For us to be an artist, to be a human, we do need to engage with other artists. We need to be inspired by other humans. There's this kind of pervasive, elusive kind of ideal that being self-made is the goal. But really it's nonsense, because any work that I do, anything that I say, or any contribution that I make is going to be predicated or built upon the work of others. I've been influenced my whole life by other people, whether I've chosen to be influenced or not. But here's the trick, is that the true artist is committed to learning the art form from those who have gone on before. And in the beginning stages, it can feel like imitation, because in many ways it is, and we are copying the work of another creator as a way for us to learn our own voice. But given enough time, enough maturity, and focused effort, the end result can feel like something original, because now it's emanating from us. And who knows, perhaps one day someone will cover your original material, keeping that wheel of inspiration spinning.